to introduce myself, I like to say that I am Mr. Phibi Philip. I'm working as a under Dr. Jayalalithaa Fisheries University, and I'm here to talk about the farming the oceans, and let's see how it is going to be the future of sustainable food production. So first of all, I just have to like when in the title itself, I am mentioning the farming the ocean. So ocean is one of the thing that we need to really understand, or exactly how large and how significant it is to all of us. So first of all, it is the largest biosphere. Okay, largest biosphere in the Earth, and it covers 72% of Earth's surface. It holds 96.5 of total Earth's water and 50% of Earth oxygen. And if you directly link with the ocean, it is a source that provide employment over 260 million jobs. Then when you say that, so almost we could say that 37% of the global population of the Earth, how many people live in Earth, okay, they are related directly or indirectly for income and livelihood in the ocean. And when we all know that most of our trades is through the ocean, and the data says that 90% of the global trade by volume is via ocean. And we not now yet we are able to exactly understand how much of energy that we can get from the ocean, and still that is an evolving area very much, still like the farming of ocean that I'm coming to say. Tidal energy and the wind energy that we can extract from the oceans area by installing wind farms and all those things. So it is a huge area, and yet that it is most of them is untapped due to our technological development. Then another one, we all know, we all always love to visit the beaches and the oceans, and we know, so as a part of that, recreation and tourism. Okay, 50% of the all national tourism, okay, that is depend upon ocean. Okay, that's it. And not just beyond this, there are other culture services and other ecosystem services. This ecosystem services that is offered by the ocean is a large topic, and it is very difficult for me to explain right now. And but with just one word, I could say that, yeah, one thing that's most important thing is that ocean help us to regulate the global climate and weather. And as it mainly we are dealing in today's world, the main challenge that we are facing is the global climate change because of the global warming. That is mainly because of the carbon dioxide emission. And so it helps us. The ocean is a sink for global carbon dioxide. So the data says 25% of the global carbon dioxide emission is being absorbed by the ocean. So when we put all this together into one figure, we can say that ocean is equal to 29.5 trillion US dollar. Okay, that much amount of money is what that we are receiving from the ocean directly or indirectly. So that's it. So from this figure itself, you have to understand that it's 29.5 trillion US dollars per year. That is what ocean is giving us, or when we evaluate ocean. Okay, so that's it, ocean. And right now in today's world, this is the things that we are depending on ocean and what we are getting from the ocean. But you have to see that some of points are here, like 96% of the living Earth space is from the ocean, 80% of the living organism, 80% of the entire global biodiversity is also in the ocean. And I also said 99% of the largest biosphere. Okay, but when we see here, we could see a lot of challenges that ocean is facing. Like, see, 60% of the world's marine ecosystem, okay, there have been significantly degraded or affected. And then another point is that warm ocean temperature are the driving force behind cyclones and monsoon. Today, you could see we can't predict what is happening in the seas and oceans, how cyclones come. We can predict our rain pattern and everything. And all this is because of the warming ocean temperatures. Okay, and this is also another benefit. And actually, there are a lot of things that mainly when we say in three words, the ocean is undergoing facing three difficulties. The first one is the marine pollution, that is from a lot of process, transportation, then plastics, marine debris, plastic pollution, and all of this. And another one is that the entire amount of the ocean, the biological resources that ocean provides is being under unsustainably management or overexploited. Okay, so that is the main thing. These are already estimated. So this is a thing that I need to focus on than many other things that oceans are facing challenges. But right now, in the last 3 decades, the Earth's surface temperature has been increased by 45%, and that we call as global warming. And it is due to the anthropogenic effect of global greenhouse gases that leads to triggering climate change. Okay, that is resulting in rising sea level, then shrinking of inland water bodies, unpredictable weather patterns, ocean acidification, and deep oxygenation. Okay, this ocean acidification is one of the main things that we are facing very much of real importance. If this acidification that ocean is becoming, that is because of the more carbon dioxide coming inside, the carbon dioxide and the water mix it with foam to form the carbonic acid, and that leads to increased acid pH level or decreased pH level in the ocean. So that is a very important factor, and that can lead to 90% of the coral death by 2052. Okay, and other than that, because of the climate change and all those things, species in the ocean are changing their habitat. Their species migration is happening, and because of that, ecosystem collapse is also happening. That is through biodiversity loss. Okay, so this is one of the main sustainable world, that is one of the main sustainable agenda that the world has developed to see that, to make sure that all the country follow this one. That is to prevent the worst case scenario, primarily the greenhouse gas emission should be reduced by 55 and net zero emission by 2050. This is the target that is being given to the global countries when they met for the last climate change conferences, and all of them has taken. And in this, and this is not just for food or something like that. Even in the last slide, I never have mentioned anything about the food and those things that we take from the ocean that I'm coming to see here. And even without the food thing and all these, actually the ocean farming that I call as the marine aquaculture is a solution for most of the challenges that we are facing. First of all, in simple words, marine aquaculture can solve the climate change problem that we are facing. If climate change problem, the global warming can be prevented, then all these after effects can be reduced to a very controllable level. So that's what it is. All these factors are independent, not independent, interdependent on each other. One can trigger the another. So these are cycles. So the thing is that we have to identify the key component of the cycle, take that out, and that solution is by ocean farming. Okay, so when we know that during our prehistoric times, we initially started humans. We all know we are like in the caves. We lived in the caves. So from that moment, we require food, and the first initial way of taking food was hunting. Okay, so we hunted animals in the sea, animals in the land, and also in the ocean. Okay, and gradually in land, we transited to efficient practice. Like in land, we have seen that gradually when civilization improved, we identify certain way of food production that is in the land, and that is we term today as agriculture and animal husbandry. But when you think about when you think about really even today, that means even in the today modern world, what exactly transition has happened in the ocean. Right now also we could see that whether we have been, that means whether we have transferred or we have moved from the mode of hunting in the ocean to anything more efficient. Okay, that is what we are going to see. And that is a question mark now you have to put in your mind. Okay, then, and when we take about today's modern agriculture, when we consider that agriculture, we know that is the most vast food production, that is the most expanded or most developed food producing, or the most expanded food source for all the human beings. Okay, right now it's hugely so modern agriculture is hugely successful at boasting crop, but on the other side we have to understand that 70% of the earth fresh water supply has been used for agriculture. So it comes with the cost 70% of the earth's fresh water, not the salt water, something fresh water that is we require for drinking and a lot of other purposes also. And also agriculture has impacts on water quality and ecosystem health. And if we actually think half of the habitable land is under agriculture, we know the population is increasing and we need more land to sit and all those things is coming up. So that's a thing. So we have to think about that also. So the half of the agricultural land is also under, half of the land, habitable land is also under agriculture. So, and when we just see the way forward of agriculture, we have to see that in the case of this, in today's scenario of global climate change, we could see that there are a lot of agriculture crops, okay, that has been affected due to this climate change. You could see that a lot of when flood comes, when hurricane comes, most of things, all these things, all the natural calamities that as after effects of the climate change today is affecting the in the best or in the most hugely way in agriculture crops. And most of the crop that we see, that means when we take North India or even many of the parts, even in the inland areas that it has no connection with the sea, like in, for example, if we take northern states like Haryana, Rajasthan, Punjab, and all there, even though they don't have connection with the sea directly, they are called as inland areas. Even there, because of the agricultural practices, the water, the underground water, has is no longer fresh water. It is called as saline. It has become saline, and in that areas, that land and the water is no longer can be used for humans to live, and that land has become like wasteland. Okay, so that is increasing a lot due to exactly due to climate change, and it is mainly because of the extensive agriculture use. And to develop intensive agriculture, we have been using pesticides and all other organic and inorganic, especially inorganic pesticides and all those fertilizers that are lead to the excess salt in the land and the water, and finally leading to the loss of fresh water, and finally gradually changing them into inland water. So if you go in Punjab and Haryana, where I did my research work for masters, you could see even get 20 ppt saline water. The ppt, that means the salinity level of the sea is around 35 ppt, but it's almost 20 ppt. We can't use that for drinking, we can't use that for growing our cattle, we can't use that for washing anything, nothing. We can't use that, those water. And those land also, in those land also, we can't do agriculture anymore, because the salt is affecting the plant growth, plant physiology and biology, so it can't grow. So that is one of the reason the future of agriculture is in question mark, unless we develop climate mitigated or climate best scenario developing of agriculture techniques. And today's world also is like we are like seeing the rising level of middle class people who normally is naturally biased to animal proteins, and this is very much common in the European countries and also in countries like US, Canada, and everywhere. So it is like in future world, we will be requiring more of animal protein. That is for sure. So there is one of the leading aquaculturists named Scott Lindell. Okay, he was saying, this is his statement. Okay, if we plowed a paradise and applied our most modern agriculture technologies, it would still not be enough, because in order to feed our growing population, by mid-century, we would need to discover and develop new agricultural lands that is equivalent to a continent, like the United States. Okay, so what he is saying that we first of all have to understand that the global population has reached already 7 billion now, and by 2050 the estimate shows that it will become 10 billion. The additional increase in 3 billion growth of population to be met by agriculture, that is typically not possible, he's saying. And the only way that we can do is that even the best technology that we have in agriculture, we need land that is almost the size of a US country, entire country. We need that magic land. Okay, some words like popping in the ocean. Okay, then only we are saying that we can feed the global rising food demand. Okay, and but what? So, and when also on the other side, he thinks and says that the transition has been happened in the agriculture. I said already before that the land, it has been from hunting, they have moved into agriculture practices. Okay, so this transition has increased our efficiency to produce protein by 100-fold. Okay, this has happened in the land. And if we know about, like if we get this idea and if we study and get this know-how and apply that in the ocean and take all the advantage that ocean can offer, then we can increase our food demand. That means we can meet our increased food demand to meet these 3 billion people by this small amount of land. See, this much small amount. Okay, this technically he says that when he compares with this country, it is almost the size of 2 states, that is New York and Yorkshire. 2 states size is sufficient. That much land of ocean is sufficient to meet, if we have that exact know-how, if we have what we have done in agriculture, if we can do in aquaculture, and if we can do in the ocean farming, then we can meet this. So if we take this land and the small land and we spread into the throughout the world, we could see at these areas already there are some practices been happening. And if we can do in this way, we can easily spread it out, and these small areas at this size will be sufficient to meet the world's population, so that human race will not go into war, or the peace will be, the global food security will be there. Okay, so this is in a brief that I'm giving the importance of marine aquaculture, or this is the introduction for farming the ocean. Okay, so this is how much important the farming of ocean is as per the current scenario. And also, now what we are doing with the ocean, this is what we have to be supposed to be doing, that is farming the ocean. But on the other hand, we have been using ocean for multiple purposes. Even in my initial slides, I have said many things that we are taking from the oceans. So, but there are one more thing that is about, I just didn't put that point. So the point is that we are also getting food from the ocean. So human depends on the food. When we evaluate how much of food that we receive from the ocean, it's almost 100 billion per year, 100 billion US dollars, that is estimation. So it is almost 17% of the global edible meat comes from ocean. But this is the latest graph that shows about what is the current status of ocean, of needs of what ocean is can be offering. So the way we hunt the ocean now can be said is not sustainable. Can we say that 80% of the world fish stock, that means the world food that is coming, is right now not in a sustainable way. You could see the 64.6% of the stocks by number that we are getting now is only sustainable. Remaining is unsustainable, and 82.5% of the land. So if we are continuing this way of exploiting in the ocean, then in the near time, that is around 2030, we could see, if we are not making up any mitigation, or we are not meeting up any sustainable way of hunting the fish, then we are losing. It is not an exaggeration, I'm saying. We will be reaching a stage when we can no longer take any fish from the ocean. Okay, we'll be soon running out of fish. Okay, so that is also another important. So we need this area, rather than taking, that means hunting the ocean, we need to move into the concept of farming the ocean. That is another word. And this is also just data set that is showing about how much it has developed and everything. So even in that means this is another graph that shows about how much how much of food that we are getting from the ocean, that is includes both aquaculture and from capturing. Capture means the hunting. Okay, see, this is the area where I have to talk about, the one in the orange. Okay, we could see that is this is the capture that we are hunting, and we are doing a lot, and more than half of it is coming from that. Okay, and this is the maximum potential that ocean can give. We can no longer think, but we are having increased population. So in that, we need to take this area, and this is the area that we can improve the most. And that is coming, and that is what we have to focus, and that is where we have to do our best, and so that we can have the better things. And this shows that, this is just showing that in per capita income, that is per capita supply of seafood, that means almost 21, every individual, if we take almost 21.2 kilogram of seafood has been currently been taken, okay, from the oceans. Okay, that includes both the culture and capture. And this also shows the advantages of aquaculture. Like when aquaculture in every food production sector, we need species diversification so that it will be sustainable. Because if one species get attacked by some disease or something else, we don't have any other alternative species, then we no longer will have any production from that side. But we can say that aquaculture has been one of the most diversified food production sectors. We have almost 3,200 species being cultured. Okay, no, that means that means in culture, we know 650, almost 650, and from capture, we are taking around 3,000. So, and if you see the development, the future, the development that is happening in the modern wise in different of the world, you could see it's tremendous in Africa and Asia and everywhere. Okay. And those amount of food that the food that we get from the ocean that is not used for direct human consumption has been tremendously reduced. This is increasing the efficiency of how much food we taken from the ocean. And moreover, aquaculture and fishery is also supporting gender equality, one of the thing, and women are getting a lot of job in that. And 59 million people of women is getting jobs in the aquaculture field compared to 600 million people. And you don't have to say everything involves money and all the development that we get here from the is involving the economics gains. Just a minute, ma'am. Take a pause.
Mr. Philip, can you please unmute your mic? Hello.
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah.
Okay. You can continue.
So we were talking about the economic importance. Of course, huge economy. We talk about 424 billion, and so that is a lot that we can offer and expect from the aquaculture side. So, and this is one of the biggest, one of the main points that I would like to say to you is about the difference between aquaculture and other species. The main advantage, the best advantage of aquaculture from other food product sectors is that, okay, aquaculture, the fish are being cold-blooded, and their biology is such a way that they require very less energy to survive. And more or less, the fishes are in a buoyant environment, they are in water. So half of the energy that they need actually for movement is being produced by, is being derived from the nature itself. The water itself will give them an extra hand over the transport. And so everything is that they have very less energy that is required for their growth. And for their other than the energy that is required other than for growth for them is very less. So all the food that we give in, almost 90% efficiency that will go into their growth. So that is the most efficient form of animal production. And this is the way, and this is the thing that clearly speaks about everything. So we are having poultry here, we are having pork here, and we are having beef here, and we have salmon. Salmon's representation of aquaculture fish. Okay, when we take about the land use area, see, this is salmon is the least that requires the least land. When we take about the fresh water, we require it is the least, even compared to the land animals, these requires very less water. And the feed requirement compared to all of them, it is very less. And the main thing that is about the greenhouse emission, beef is the most one that emits a lot of things, and the carbon problem that is created by salmon is very less. But so when we compare all the other animal husbandry practices, the aquaculture going to offer is the best efficient source of food production. And this is mainly when we talk about the marine aquaculture, about marine aquaculture that is farming the ocean, we need to mainly talk about the scallops, mussels, clams, and seaweeds. Okay, these farms are very much important because these are naturally, when we having these farms, the natural wild fish will see this area as a natural habitat because they will be having a lot of inputs being given, and this will be naturally attracting the wild fish into this area, and they'll be having a very good supplemented habitat there. Okay, and this farming requires no inputs. Okay, it doesn't require any land because we know it is in farm, it is in water, and no fresh water, very important, no pesticides and no fertilizers like other agriculture practices, and most importantly, or primarily the feeds. Okay, so these things we can say they are grown with the nature. Naturally, they are growing and fueled by the sun and by absorbing the nutrients or filtering the nutrients that is available in the water. And if these nutrients are not absorbed or filtered by these organisms, okay, and accumulation of these can lead to water pollution. So it is in one way that it is growing, it is giving the food that we require, and other side it is without, that is we are getting the food without any inputs, and also on the other sides on the our activities on the nature that has caused for contamination and that lead to pollution. These marine aquaculture is able to reduce the chance of anything that become a pollutant. So when we see in every way, this is very economic friendly, and our food needs to be given to us. And other thing, this is other than the pollution that I'm saying about the other inorganic nutrients like ammonia, nitrogen, all those things. And also except that it absorbs carbon rather than emitting. And thus it helps fighting climate change. So before it was salmon, and when you compare shellfish, it is much more efficient in every ways. In every ways, it doesn't have land use zero, it doesn't have any fresh water, zero feed requirement it requires, and the emission, it is very much less. So in every ways, this shellfish, that means the scallops, mussels, clams, and coming to seaweeds, is very efficient even than this salmon. This all comes under marine farming, farming the ocean. And this is the interesting figure that shows about the seaweeds. Okay, these are the seaweeds that is grown in US, I think. This is called as kelps. Okay, Capaphagus normally. And this is now important thing that we have to know about the seaweed industry. It is now already reached $11 billion industry now. This is the area where India is not seeing much, or India not putting much effort, but the European countries are already started a lot of funding and a lot of research in this one, and they are going to grab its benefits. The seaweeds are currently used for food additives. They have enough of cosmetic pharmaceuticals, all those face wash and everything that we take always have the ingredients from the seaweeds. So they have cosmetics use, pharmaceuticals. It is very much important. Even renewed scientists have said that the answer for the cancer is from the seaweed. The anti-cancer drug that can be created, have the ability to cure the cancer, will come from the seaweed. It has been, the research is going very high, and hopefully we will be having, or we'll be seeing that coming years. Sushi is one of the diet that we can see in the Japan, and in that, with the rice, we'll be having a lot of seaweed. In Japan, they eat a lot of seaweed, and that is the reason why the average life expectancy of every Japanese people is very high. And there are other things also. So I suggest you to farm seaweed instead of corn or anything that we have in India can be the raw material for carbon neutral biofuels and animal feed. So we can corn farming or other agriculture farming that we are doing in the land, because a lot of land, use that land for something else, for some other development. And we go for ocean farming, use the ocean area, and we farm seaweeds, and we will be able to get raw material that is for animal feed, other animal husbandries. We need to grow beef, cattle, poultry, all these things require feed. And from the seaweed, we can create feeds that is required for that. But the main thing that we are facing is less popularity. We don't know much about the seaweeds, and we don't have much demand. We'll be thinking about how we can eat these seaweeds. No, see, you have to think about initially when we take the years back, lobster, that is one of the most highly praised seafood right we having now, was given in the prison before. And at that time, chicken was very much not affordable. Chicken was a dream to eat. There was a situation like that in 19 starting. At that time, lobster was available for plenty, but now it has oppositized. The most of the techniques and development in poultry has been saying that we eat chicken. Almost all the population in the world eats chicken now, but lobster is very highly priced. To get one, in order to get one lobster dish in the hotel, we need to pay almost 2,000 rupees in India. So with the advancement in processing and marketing and packaging techniques, we will soon be seeing seaweeds in our diet in the coming year. It's already started. That's already started even in the European countries and everything, but in India, we need to increase the demand. And this is a thing that shows all about thing. That means this is the combined thing. This is called as IMTA. This is called as integrated multi-trophic aquaculture. This is a concept that includes all the marine farming in one area. This is the fish farming, marine fish is here, and this is the scallop shellfish farming I already mentioned about. These are the seaweeds. So these are integrated together, and the inputs that we are giving to fish, all the organic things will be deposited here and will be taken used by these two things. So this is a hyper efficient zero waste production system, food production system. And we are doing it now, and we are in the initial stages. We are not completely developed, but this also with the advancement measures we'll be able to get it. And this will be the future. Individually also, these are very much helping in to become the future of the sustainable food production. And when we combine all these, we give inputs, there will be no outputs at waste, and we will be having tremendous amount of food that is going to for us to eat. These include multiple species: sea cucumbers, sea urchins, other wild fishes here. These are the farm fishes. These are the seaweeds, and these are the clams, scallops, and mussels, and everything. So even down, some of the position will be taken by lobster or the other wild benthic organisms, sea worms, and this will be an incredible ecosystem that is going to be the answer for our global food demand. And I'm going to end it by saying some conclusions. We know all food production systems have an environmental cost, but when we take that, aquaculture is undoubtedly amongst the most sustainable way to grow foods. And these are the recommendations. If you start serving yourself 2 servings of seafood in a week, research will show that your life expectancy will be doubled. Okay. And if all the human beings are trying to do that, then the demand or the requirement, the demand for this shellfish and seaweeds will grow in a very definite hike. And finally, we'll be feeding our growing population in a very sustainable way, and we will be preserving our planet. So I also request all of you who are hearing me that to start building the demand. Okay, when you go to seafood farms or seafood shops, ask for farmed seafood, or when you go outside to buy meat, ask for seafood that is farmed seafood. Enjoy it. We can change our eating habits. The potential is huge. The opportunity in aquaculture is the solution to meeting our growing food needs in a sustainable way that boosts jobs and the local economy, narrows the trade deficit, mitigates climate change, and sustains our earth and sea. And we can start right here now. So right now, I just want to say to you that I am taking a pledge. I have already taken the pledge that I will be consuming more seafood. And to all my listeners, what only I have to say is that you start pledging eating more of seafood in your diet, then in all together, we are going to have a better earth. That's my recommendations. And these two things is that not much of public regulations that we need to talk about the government and we need to do that. So that's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Philip, for the presentation. I will take up the questions from the participants now. The first question is, just a minute. Can you please stop sharing the screen so that we can see your full video? Yeah, this is fine. The first question is from our member, Mr. Mohan. He's asking, farming inside the sea, can't it be too expensive? And is it possible to go for small scale?
Yeah, the first thing is that farming the sea won't be expensive, right? Yes, exactly. Initial stage, that means we can right now say that we have already developed a lot of viable technologies, that is economically viable technologies, where we can do near shore farming, that means near to the coastal areas, but in the ocean, it is almost within the range of 2 kilometers from the coastal line. We have set up, especially what I showed in that figure, there is one cage and all those setups that is now being done, and that is economically viable in ways. And also in current Indian scenarios, we have PMSSY funding, and in that government is supporting us with 80%. If we want to start a farming in the ocean, that is marine aquaculture, 80% of the capital cost will be given by the government, and only remaining 20% we have to start. So within the first year, you have a lot of demand and you can do it, and you will be having the input and everything. So with the support of the government, we will be doing that. And sideways, this is going in a way that we are developing efficient, that means nature friendly. In mainly in sea, what we will be facing is that nature force we will be facing, the wind, the tides, and everything. So we need some good efficient engineering figures to make that thing stand hold against all those things. So engineers are working on that, and we'll be having, it's already been done. We have been commercialized that, and yet for the common man to use, of course, we'll get economic support from the government, and it is becoming more cheaper. Yeah, we can start even small scale also. Yeah, we can. This one, the clam farming, if you talk about the, especially the shellfish farming, especially the clam and everything, we can do in a small scale. Yeah, we can do, and we don't need any inputs. So yeah, of course, we can do that. Seaweed and clam farming, we can do very easily without much technical expertise. Also, we can do that without much engineering technical things. Yeah.
Okay, and again, Mr. Mohan is asking, can you tell us any success model as such produced in India?
Success models, like we can, if you take about Rajiv Gandhi Center for Aquaculture, that is a government body. So they have already commercialized cage culture, marine fish culture in areas. And if you go for, if you are from Kerala, if you go to Alapi and Kollam regions, okay, they have sustainable clam culture. Okay, they have received the award. That means the artisan, the ladies in that area, they are cultivating clams and they are surviving with that. Even not they themselves, they are feeding their entire family. So even the men just come to that working. There are a lot of stories that happened in 2017, and now it has been awarded. I forgot the award actually. It is the most sustainable farming practices in the world, one of the examples. So it is called as the UNESCO Heritage Center, might be something like that. And you can type about the clam farming in Kerala backwaters. So you can see a lot of examples in that. That is one of the most prominent examples. There are many scales and government funded, even the government organizations. Just note down these names: Rajiv Gandhi Center for Aquaculture, what they're doing, note down that their extensions works, you can get it. It is available throughout the India, even in RGCA centers is available in Kerala, in Tamil Nadu, even in Karnataka, Andhra, everywhere. Then you can check about CMFRA, Central Marine Fisheries Research Institutes. These are doing. And even you can contact our university. We can have a lot of things doing in our sub-centers, sustainable centers. And there are a lot of institutes and lot of examples are there.
Okay. Please tell us about yourself. What made you take an interest in fisheries research?
Yeah, myself. So thing is that doing my family has a lot of doctors, and my sister is also doctor. But I have seen them working very much hard, learning a lot of things, spending a lot of time in reading books and everything. So I was not interested to go in medical field, and I was not much inclined to engineering also. So I came to hear about Indian Council of Agricultural Research. So that was an entrance exam. I tried for that, and I got into agriculture, all the 7 agriculture courses that can be. But there was one of my mom's doctor friends. She's a gynecologist. She recommended me that this is a good field. I joined studying on 2013. So she recommended me. My BFSc was on my bachelor's degree. I started by 2013. So she recommended me. I just joined the university that I'm currently working for my bachelor's. Then from that moment, I never turned back. It was all, first of all, the advantage is that all of these, my studying, my education was fully funded by the government. Even my UG and my PG, I was getting stipend after my school days. I never have asked any money from my parents. So it is all because of the stipend that government gave. Indian government, thankful for the Indian government. So my bachelor's and my master's, then it was my bachelor's was in fishery science. Then my specialization was in fish genetics and biotechnology. It is much more interesting. So we can apply all those genetics and biotechnology, that advanced medical and biological things in the fisheries, and we can see it growing. And after that, I got a funding from the European nation, European Union. It's exactly about the UK country, actually, not European nation. The Commonwealth scholarship is there, and there I studied sustainable aquaculture, MSc sustainable. It's a second year that I'm doing in a distance learning mode. So there I am more concentrating on this concept that I'm talking right now. And it is very good funded. It is easy to get in because not much competition is there, much competition, and you can have a great future in this one. Undoubtedly, if you are coming into that and if you liked it, if you understood the point, what the world is going, where the world is living to, and what is the importance, I could say, and fisheries and aquaculture person is the world hero because they are the future for global food, to meeting the global food demand, or they are the main persons working behind global food security. So if to have global peace, we need global food demand met. So aquaculture and fisheries is the fastest growing food product sector. If you compare it with any other thing, they are the fastest growing food product sector, and they are going to be solution. That's what I already explained in this. So it's a bright field. Always welcome to come in. I can guide you also if you want to take it.
Okay. Today, what are some latest new researches going on in the area of fisheries and aquaculture?
Like fisheries and aquaculture, it's a wide area to say about. Let me talk about the areas that I'm interested in. So first of all, genetics, that is my first master specialization. That is, if a fish can grow for about 500 simple things, what I can say in genetics is that if a fish can normally grow to 500 grams, half a kilo in 6 grams, with genetic intervention, we can make them grow more than 1 kilograms within a half an year with the same inputs. Okay, that is genetics. So faster food production, that is a simple thing. So that is called a selective breeding. A lot of ways are in that. That is one. Then climate change, that is one of the more economically based things that I'm saying. So that is where we are linking up the fisheries and aquaculture, especially aquaculture and fisheries, with the to mitigate the climate change that I already explained here, and that is the latest thing that is going on. And one more thing is the seaweed. Seaweed is going to become a revolution, undoubtedly. It is used for food. It can be used for food. It is coming soon. Already Japan is practicing that. It will come to a common diet for us also. I'm predicting that. You count on my word. Just see after 10 years or 5 years, 6 years, you'll be having some jelly, sweets or something that will be made of seaweed. You'll be having that one. It's already in the cosmetics and everything. It has medicinal use, pharmaceutics. It is very high. A lot of research is going on seaweed. And seaweed is going to have a lot of environment conservation and environment friendly ways exactly to mitigate the climate change. So that is another thing. And what? Yeah, there are many things in seaweeds. And even we can use seaweeds for animal feed, not only for human diet. Even for example, there is one later research that came into my interest that we know, I already showed that in beef, the carbon emission is very huge. So because they will emit methane. We know the cow dung is the source of proper gas. So the beef, while eating, they will emit. They have the bacteria inside, pathogenic bacteria inside their digestive system. When they want to digest the food, as an out product, they will be releasing methane. So if we are able to find out a ways to give feed that is seaweed based, then this won't happen. So they'll be growing good and they won't be emitting any greenhouse gases. We are happy, beef happy, everyone is happy.
Okay, thank you very much. We have now completed the round of questions. On behalf of agricultureinformation.com, we like to thank Mr. Phibi Philip for the talk and for answering the questions. I like to also thank all the participants in this meeting. This meeting will now be closed.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Have a nice day.
Thank you.